Hello, and welcome back to Pints with Pals. My name's Mike, and joining with me today is Jeremy. Say hi, Jeremy.
Hey, what's going? That's going pretty good.
That's
How are
that's
you,
good.
sir?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little excited for today. It's today's beer is a La Chouffe. It is a artisanal Belgian golden ale, aka
Right.
a blonde. Um, I have had this before. I know I like it. How about you, Jeremy?
Oh yeah, I've had it before. It's really good. This is the cherry were the first ones I've had. My son, oops, I got a lot ahead in this one. My son bought me a Christmas gift. It came with a bunch of different ones, which kind of bears to show it now because of how much head I have. But this really cool goblet. It says "Find Marcel" on it.
Nice.
So there's a certain gnome on here. It's got like "Where's Waldo?" And you can barely see it. That's the one that you want to find right there. And he's right in this general area. It's really easy to find. Those are really cool. They got all different flavors. Yeah, it's a good beer. I enjoy it.
So the first time I had this was actually at a bar in Bordeaux in France. We were
Okay.
sitting waiting for our train, and we like walked across the street, and they had this. I had this one, and I had the cherry chouffe. Or
Yeah, the cherry
yeah,
one's good too. Yeah. I'm gonna give my just a little bit to settle down some because there's a lot of head.
you can definitely
I'm gonna
smell
give for
the
people. Just
you can definitely smell the coriander. I feel like that's what I'm smelling. I maybe just because I read it. It says brewed with coriander on the thing, and it's
right.
8% ABV. I don't know if we showed the bottle or not, but it's really cool. It's a little gnome themed.
Mm-hmm.
Gnome place like home.
I like the bottle. The bottle's a really unique, weird shape to it.
Yeah, yep. I've
Kind
never
of
seen a
cool.
bottle quite like this one.
No.
Because normally they don't have the little bump out. They'll just go straight down if they're the little short. Actually, they wouldn't even have that. I don't even know how they would be. Because
Mm-mm.
Founders has a short bottle. It's
Yeah,
actually
it's just
annoying
short.
because you can't use a normal capper on them because they won't grab it right or something. It
So
was.
you got to flip those things around.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until I was watching somebody cap a lot of those flip around. That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
One thing I think is neat is like I went to their website. And they actually have like a chart of like characteristics. So of like spice, fruits, roundness, acidity, strength, and bitterness. It kind of gives you like these dots going across. Like how much spice does it have? How much strength? Strength does. I'm not sure what strength is. So like alcohol because
Yeah,
it's
I'm
got some
guessing
alcohol in
ABV. Yeah, because
it.
this is pretty high ABV. So it's out of 10. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it's an 8 out of 10. So out of for spices, and it's 8 out of 10 for strength, and it's a 7 out of 10 for bitterness, fruits. Roughness is 5 out of 10, and
Roundness.
or roundness, and then
Yeah.
acidity. Um, I'm actually getting quite a bit of acidity, and I don't know if it's the not acidity, maybe just bitterness and the spiciness. I don't think it
Yeah.
says. I think it's different because I had it on tap at the place I had it at, so it might have like kind of smoothed it out a little bit.
Yeah, you're closer to the source too. It's out of Belgium, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
a little closer to the source. I think it's
But it's
great for what it is.
it's
This is
making me
spurs a lot of people.
instantly turn red. I would give it a
Really?
thumbs up also, but I wouldn't. It's not something that I would want on my for every day, I guess.
No, it's well 8%. It's kind of hard to justify an everyday one for this. It's a nice. I think it's a nice summer sipper, even though it's still winter technically.
Yeah,
Almost springtime. Almost springtime. Like I don't think the bitterness is that high for me, for my palate, anyways. I think it's well rounded. I think it's like besides like I mean it coats the tongue really well. There's so it's nice. I mean it's not overly carbonated. Um, pleasant on the nose. Like I said, I get
definitely.
fruits, but I don't know what fruits I get. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah,
what I'm smelling there.
it,
It's definitely
it's
fruity.
It's weird because it actually like the smells now remind me of being in France.
Oh, that's
Because that's
awesome.
the only time I've ever had it, and I had a few of them. Like I think we bought some and brought them back to the hotel. But their beer and stuff out there, I talked about it a long time ago on our podcast. But their beer and stuff out there is not as they don't have nearly as much variety, and it's more like this would be like typical. What you would see is some sort of Belgian wheat ale, and just a regular, not even I guess a blonde, but not necessarily in the Belgian variety. But the
Right.
head does not go away. Like I poured almost no head, and it's like slowly getting more and more head, which is weird.
That's
I
pretty
think it's
funny.
because it went from a big to a little, but I think it's like you can see it like constantly pulling from like the bottom. So I don't really know if this glass because it if you've seen glasses, and I don't know if these ones do it because I usually drink heavier beers out of glasses like this. I don't know if these ones specifically have like laser etchings in the bottom of them to cause
I'll
that.
get the.
But it sure looks like it is because it's coming like right out of the stem part of this. I don't know if you can see that at all,
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
which is nuts.
Mine's definitely hazier than yours. I probably got a little more yeast in mine than yours, for sure. But I mean, it's made with Pilsner malt. That's all it's made with. So there's no wheat, nothing like that in there. So the haze is probably just the yeast that I'm getting. But yeah. So the other thing I thought was pretty interesting. I like when sites give you like pairing options. Like it paired it with like pan fried veal, chicken, or quail. I don't think I've ever had quail. I've had quail eggs. Those are pretty good. You can do broccoli, asparagus. They even give you a recipe to make at home. They have a burger with pan fried veal cutlet, melted brie with honey mustard sauce. That just sounds
Pan
good.
fried veal cutlet sounds delicious.
Yes, it does. Um, so I think we covered the site pretty well overall. There's probably more on there I may have missed. But definitely a recommended. I recommend trying any of the beers. I've had a few of their other ones, like their season ones, were just phenomenal. Well, they're all like 10%ers. So again, it's not like a an everyday drinker.
No, no, I mean it is and it isn't as far as like like smoothness and quality.
Yeah,
It's funny because this
true.
site is Belgian, so they have are you 18 years of old 18 years or
Mm-hmm.
older because it's Le Chouffe slash Ian slash beer slash Le Chouffe. I was looking to see what other beers they had
Right.
on their like every day. So they have Le Chouffe is their main one. They have Cherry Chouffe. They have Mick Chouffe, which is a dark Belgian beer. And then I think they have like some of those seasonal ones. Those are the three that they're like staples. And then the ones that you got, I think you got like an IPA variant of it,
Mm-hmm.
which I
I
couldn't
did.
find
That
that
was
at
good.
I couldn't find that at Total Wine. And then there was
Oh, okay.
you had another one too. I forget what I couldn't find that one either. So they only
I
have those
I
three.
had the nice
Okay.
Chouffe one, which is a
Yeah.
winter beer, which was really good. Uh, let's see the other IPA
Oh, okay. They have them now. I just didn't click on it. So
soul one or something like that. I think like
there's an
soul.
alcohol free one. There's a Hoblin, which is a Belgian IPA. There's the
Yeah, that one.
Soil, um, a Blanche, the Nice, the Mick, the Bach 6666. So then those are just the seasonal ones. So
Right.
that's pretty cool. So the Total Wine has like 4 packs of them, and then they had singles.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any singles of. Oh well, Angela likes it, so I got a 4 pack of this, and she doesn't really like the cherry one, so I only got the one of that one.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Yeah, my
but
local store I can get just those two as well. I can't find the other ones. I've seen a gift set there before, but it's only around Christmas time when I've seen it.
this is the
So
most peculiar head that I've ever seen on a beer. You can't really see it because it's like super thick. Like it looks like
It's like whipped cream.
yeah, it looks like milk froth on a on like a cafe something McCafe.
Oh, that actually almost reminds me of like we were talking about like if you get like a true Czech beer, like you can get it poured.
I've never been able to get like a handful of
of that foam, but you can actually get it like half and half, like whereas half foam, half beer is like a style they serve there. And it stays. It stays for like a long time. They'll actually have when they give it to you, it jiggles. Pretty interesting to watch. So, did you do anything fun this past weekend? Anything exciting?
um we had my parents over. My
Oh,
dad and I
cool.
were gonna do a bourbon tasting like a couple of weeks ago before the cruise, and I got sick, so I didn't want to have him come over.
Mm-hmm.
So then we rescheduled it, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we had like 13 different bourbons to try. Um, we just have like you take like a little these are Glencairn glasses, and you fill like less than an ounce of it just to like tell and smell and do the fancy um, the fanciness. And then I bought us some journals so we could journal our like tastings. It was real nerdy. My mom and my wife were making fun of us the entire time. Um, they're like,
I probably would have too.
every time we open it up, they're like, "Dear journal, I just had bourbon. It was good." I was like, "Dick."
It was caramel in color.
Yeah, it
It
tasted
burned.
like alcohol.
I could tell they got this. They used the wood from the rainforest of '63.
What about you? Did you do anything fun?
Oh yeah, so I went and got some. My granddaughter got to feed her on Saturday. That was exciting. I haven't fed a baby in since my niece was a baby, so 15 years. So it's been quite a while, you know. So like you don't forget how to feed a baby. Feeding a baby is easy. Burping a baby, that's a different thing. Like you gotta hold it a certain way and kind of have them prop up a little bit, and you gotta go up the back, pat them out the back, you know, start from the bottom all the way up. And, she burps well, which is great. It's a kilo thing. And then I
It's
built
exciting for
my
you.
20. Yeah, that's very exciting for me. $20 um glycol thing that I made. So I got that. It's actually working pretty well. I do have to prime it every once in a while because the yeast is really active, and I need a bigger bucket. I thought the 2 gallon bucket was big enough for the cold water. It's not, because when the yeast gets active, it definitely is creasing like 4 degrees. So I have to throw ice inside of it. So right now I'm freezing big blocks of ice, so I can just put one of those in so we get a nice slow melt. Those little
Prime,
tiny
not
cubes melt so quick.
by prime the.
Pardon me?
You don't mean like prime the pump. You mean
No,
prime the
not part of the
water.
pump, but I like prime the water
Yeah.
to keep it at least 40 some odd degrees.
Well,
But I mean,
that's
it
nuts.
worked
So this
great
is it.
for 6 hours, and then all of a sudden, the yeast started getting really excited, and I went over to check on it because it didn't kick off for a while, and I could see the temperature just rising. Like, oh crap!
Wow,
I had to combat that a little bit.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
So do you think it
but
would?
still really cool.
Do you think it would help to have a much bigger bucket of water in there, or do you
I
think
think
that'll
so.
still
Yeah.
your your refrigerator is going to just kick on the entire time? That
And
would
also
suck.
the keyser kicks off and on like it's supposed to,
Okay.
but the pump has been running nonstop. Like early this morning, it was on for a couple of minutes, off what 10-15 minutes, get back on for a couple of minutes, but like the yeast now is starting to churn over and start producing alcohol, and it's like I have it set for 55 degrees, so about where between 55 and 58 I'm fine with. Well, I hit 59. I was like, oh crap, I got to get this down. So I took some bowls and I filled them over with water. I got them freezing in the deep freezer upstairs, so I'll pop one out tomorrow. I don't think I'll need it too many of them. Probably the next 3 or 4 days, maybe one or two, and it should be fine. I've noticed
It'll
like a
help
lot of stuff really slows down.
your so you do you have your 2 gallon one full, or do you have your 2 gallon one like 3/4
So the
full?
2 gallons is about 3/4 full, yeah. No. Just so in case I need to add in some emergency ice, I'm not taking water out to throw ice in.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I
But
guess it's
I'm
not that
excited
hard,
though
I guess, but
for $20. $20-ish versus like the other ways you can go about it. You can do like an old air conditioning and try to uncoil that and put the condenser inside a vat of water and use that, or like my glycol chiller, which is like $500 to $1,000. So I like making stuff. I think that's more fun for me than spending the money on stuff
I
that's
mean,
already
that's
made.
75% of the hobby. I feel like is
It is always do it
just
yourself
trying to
mentality.
trying to make something, trying to solve a problem. That's kind of like in 3D printing for me. It was like 75% of what I was doing was just printing upgrades for the printer itself and not actually doing anything with the printer.
The one I got from you, that's exactly what I did. I printed a drawer, tool holder, and a little Yoda that sits on the little ear thing that feeds it in and goes around in circles. So, I mean, that's about what I did with that. Printed some other stuff too. I don't know where they're at now. I printed something recently too, actually. Oh, I see. I broke it. So I threw it away. It was a phone holder thing I was trying to print for to use my camera as a phone or as a phone.
Oh, gotcha.
Use my phone as a camera versus the camera stuff that I have. And as I was trying to get the threads to get some of like the hair off and a little like leftover plastic, it got stuck and I went to undo it and it was broken in half. But I feel like it's just that filament because a lot of stuff I've printed with it, I can barely put any pressure on it; it just falls apart. I just don't think it's because I've used Nathan's filament. He has white and it works great. So I'm just trying to burn that one up and then I'll probably buy something different. There's something else I was going to bring up. I lost my train of thought. Doesn't matter.
Making
If it comes
things
to
that
me, I'll bring it up later. Yeah, so I was
you're
going to go somewhere with that.
did you brew anything? Oh, you did. So you brewed your
Oh,
beer.
yes,
Yeah.
I did. So I
So that's what
brewed
you're
the
actually chilling.
yeah. So I brewed a Mexican cerveza. It's pretty neat because I bought a kit. I didn't want to build my own recipe, so I was like, I'll just buy a kit. It was fairly cheap, and it came with like a spice pack. I'm like, spice pack? I don't find Mexican lagers very spicy. I don't get it. I have to read it. It's like it's a little bit of lime. That's all it is. So you want to keep it in there for like 15 minutes or so. So it has a nice little hint of lime because like, I actually tasted it before I put it in there, and it actually tastes really good. So I'm really excited for this one to turn out good, and hopefully bottle some up and pass it around to people.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how well this chiller does for you,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really like a week's worth of brewing essentially, or whatever, fermenting.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
I
guessing
mean, I
that
could have done it with a spunding valve, right? That's the reason why I bought a spunding valve was to make bloggers. But again, 20 some odd dollars. I mean, why not try? See what happens. If it doesn't work,
right.
then I'll go back to spunding valve.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's just so cool. Did you
Mm-hmm.
end up drilling holes, or are you just running it through?
Nope, just running through. I need to figure out because I totally didn't take in the power cord into the situation, so I need to figure out how to route the power cord through as well too. I was thinking about making a hatch somehow on the side wall or side collar so it pops open and closes. I need to make it airtight, so I need to figure out
Well, you can
foam
buy
and
those
stuff like
like
that. So,
you could buy the ones for like outdoor. Like I think they
no,
have
the
some that
junction
like
boxes or whatever.
seal, yeah, for like a junction box, and
Yeah.
put it on like the inside, and then just run like a cut an extension cord in
So,
half, and then
yeah, kind of thought about that too. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just an evolving hobby. It's all it is. Just keep adding, buying. It's fun. I enjoy it. I think I'm glad I got into this hobby.
yeah. If only you had a 3D printer,
My
you could
cleaning
just
hobby
your cleaning hobby that produces beer
that
every once in
produces
a while
alcohol.
as a byproduct.
Yeah, it's a byproduct.
Yeah, that's the main reason that I can't get into it. I don't think is the amount of cleaning that I just am terrible at and feel like I would ruin a bunch of stuff. Um, but I think our basement stays a consistent temperature all year round.
Yeah,
Between like it's between like 65 in the summertime to like 62 in the wintertime. But
really great
yeah,
for ales. Cranberry ales, not lagers though.
No, I don't know.
Um,
I would just probably spunding valve it or do what you're doing, but I can't do what you're doing as easily from my kegerator because it's like pushed into or my keezer is going to be pushed into a corner and I'm not going to really have a whole lot of access to it. I guess I could just leave it in front of it for the week that it's doing it or whatever.
right. Well, I think where you live too, you may have a better options finding mini fridges where you can just convert into like a fermentation chamber to set it
Yeah.
at whatever 55 degrees and just let it do its thing and be done with it. You would
Yeah,
think
you
I would too, because
should.
I live right next to a college town, but I can never find any mini fridges. Like every time I look, they're always gone, or they want exactly what they paid for them. It's like, no, I'm not. No, let's buy a new one.
You should. You should get one with the freezer, and then put your wort chiller thing in there
Mm-hmm.
so it can get it down more from the freezer
There you go.
temperatures.
Yeah.
And then just like have the whole thing set up like a closed loop. Well, I guess
Mm-hmm.
you don't want it to freeze though. There's a potential for it to freeze, which would suck. I guess if you put like
Right.
an antifreeze or something in there, but that'd be kind of terrifying to like
Yeah, it would be.
potentially have something leak.
Yes, I would use like an air compressor to blow all the liquid out if I left it in the freezer. So
You
it
could
wouldn't
probably
freeze.
use like a super sugared water. Although that might corrode on stuff too, but that won't freeze, I don't think. Typically won't freeze
I'm
at
not sure how
least
that would
set
act
temperatures.
against copper.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it
I'm sure it would be
might made out of
terrible.
copper, so I have no idea. But so
Yeah,
how do you feel about this beer still, even though we've been sipping on it for 22, 33 minutes?
I think that it's good. I think that you have to drink it a little faster. I don't think I love. It's starting to kind of smell a little funk.
Like me?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of like a funk on the warmness. Doesn't
Right.
taste bad. I think that's just the style of beer that this is.
So one of my homebrew buddies, he makes a saison with coriander, and it tastes a lot like this.
Yeah.
Like this is sweeter than his. This is super dry, but it's really good. But I did come up with it's a simple recipe to kind of clone this for the most
Mm-hmm.
part. One of the biggest thing is you want to drop the pH level of it, so you can actually get the flavor profile that you want out of it. Because it's just 11 pounds of Pilsner malt and 2 pounds of sugar, like just table sugar. So your pH is fairly high. You'd be close to like 5.7 and above. Most beers you want around 5.3 or 2 or so, something like that. So you have to use about 5 milliliters of lactic acid, which would drop it down pretty good. So with that mash of 11 pounds and of Pilsner malt and 2 pounds of table sugar, you're just gonna mash that in for 60 minutes at about 150 degrees. So kind of a lower one. And then after that, when you get to the boil, this one's gonna boil a little bit longer. It's gonna boil for about an hour and a half. So you're going to use about 1.5 ounces of Saaz hops, and the one thing about Saaz hops is it has a kind of like a peppery note, which this kind of has a little bit in it. That's why I think they call it spicy. Then about the 15-minute mark, you're going to add in about another half an ounce of Saaz. Again, that's more for like aroma and a little bit of flavor. And then like at flame out or the last minute, you throw another half ounce in there. Again, that's just for flavor. And then you're going to throw in your about 50 grams of coriander seed. Just let that sit for like 5 minutes or so in there. That's it. Like it's not a hard recipe. Now it may not taste exactly like this, of course, because like don't have their water. I don't know what their water profile is over there, or anything like that. But we can get something really close for relatively cheap. I don't think this thing would cost you more than 20. If you throw in the hops, maybe $30 for 5 gallons.
And I guess I always ask you this: would you make this recipe?
This one I would, yeah, just because it's so simple. I think this one was stored pretty well too.
You should try and make the cherry one, or make a blueberry one. There you go.
Ooh. I probably could, yeah.
A blueberry la chouffe
I'd
or
probably do
chouffe.
half and half. I would do like real blueberry juice and blueberry extract.
No, I think you have to, because otherwise you wouldn't get any of the blueberry flavor if you just use the
Blueberry
blueberry
flavor,
juice.
yeah. It would just eat up all the sugars, yeah.
And then it would give it the higher ABV. It just seems weird to use like table sugar in a recipe like this. But I guess if you don't have a whole lot of hops in there, then there's not a whole lot you can get from it.
Gotta get that off somewhere.
Yeah, I like it. I would like to taste something like that. So would you? So now that you have your like wort chiller, are you planning on using it for all of your beers and just keep it at like 68 degrees instead of like
Correct,
down
yeah.
to whatever you're at, so that like if
Yeah,
there
I
are any
wanted.
fluctuations.
Yeah, so this one I'm trying to do a lager. I've always made pseudo lagers. This is my first real lager I'm making. But other than that, for my ales, I wanted to do temperature control, like you're saying, like 68-ish degrees, something like that, plus or minus, 2 degrees. I think that would be fine. Ideally, what would be really cool is I've actually went and bought some like the pink foam board, and actually built like a little chamber and set the cooler in there, so it actually has blocks out some of the heat or coolness from the outside. Just kind of keeps it like in the chamber by itself. Because right now it's just sitting in front of the keezer at the moment, which I'm sure
Yeah,
the ambient temperature may be affecting it some too. So
yeah, I was gonna say I think that would be better for your, especially for this one too, like to keep it cold. But it's generating its own heat right now, so
yep.
maybe it's better for it to not be just like not keep that heat in, so it can get out into the air. And I don't know, there's a lot of science involved in that after this point. So
there is for sure. Yeah, I've seen people make chambers like that. They'll put like a little like PC fan just to suck air out. And there's all sorts of different things you can do and tweak and see what works and what would do. I also have like a a limited amount of space over there too, so I have to be pretty wise. And I guess I could get rid of stuff over there, but then I wouldn't get any exercise. So
the coat rack that is your
no,
that
I
is
get on the
our
treadmill. I use it every day.
our bicycle that we bought is essentially it's a floor mat rack, because we have our Roomba thing keeps hitting the floor mats and getting stuck in our things. So we have to like roll them up and put them somewhere. So she rolls them up and puts them on the bicycle, and that's basically as much as that bicycle's been used since like the first week we bought it. Wow, this I don't know if you can tell because it's not very clear on that camera, but I am like burning up right now from either like just wearing a hoodie, but I think it's from the beer itself. Is like something is reacting poorly with me, so maybe I should stay away from these beers.
It could be the yeast, because I said other than that, it's just Pilsner malt, and you drink a lot of Pilsners, so
this is like one of the heaviest bottles.
I don't know. Oh yeah, also. like this could hurt somebody.
This feels like it's still half full. I keep trying to pour the nothing that's in there into my. Do they have any extra yeast for you?
No, I'd look down there. I don't have none of mine. That's another thing I guess start doing too. I want to start harvesting yeast from beers that I like.
Smart.
Start propagating them and stuff like that. I would save from $5 to $13 a pop per recipe.
That'd be cool too, to like see if that imparts the same flavors. Or you would want to do something of a similar beer style then if you harvested the yeast?
Pretty close, yeah. Yeah, so this is for like a golden ale. I would try to keep it within a golden ale, strong ale, something similar to the actual style. Like Heffies have a lot of yeast at the bottom. Like it'd be nice to harvest some of those too. Like for the ones I actually like. Which that's going to be my next recipe I'm going to make. Is going to be a Heffy. I'm going to attempt it again. So fingers crossed this one turns out.
Well, at least you have a way to kind of make sure that it's staying within a certain temperature range, and then you can kind of eliminate some of the variables and things like that. Alrighty. Well, so on that note,
doing our jobs.
Yeah. I wanted to say thank you for joining, and don't forget to have a pint with your pals.
Please drink responsibly. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord, ask questions.
Yeah.
We like questions.
Yeah. Even if Jeremy doesn't answer those questions, you should ask them. My mom
my
asked
best.
you what a whatever that bourbon drink you had the other day was. A Chinese
Chinese old fashioned.
old fashioned. Yeah, but she didn't know what it was. She asked.
Oh, sorry. maybe that's what we should start doing is find questions from last episodes and bring them into the current episode.
That'll work. So what is a Chinese old
Japanese
fashioned?
old fashioned? Chinese old fashioned. I'm not sure. I know what Japanese old fashioned is. But next time. You guys have a great evening, morning, afternoon. Cheers.
Cheers.